Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Tangent Podcast, episode 108 for the week of March 27th, 2017. I am your host, Brian Thomas, alongside the Beacon of Light, Anthony Salvatore.
Hello.
The Bootless Wonder, Gary Hines.
What up?
And we're missing our lovable co-host, Justin Kane, because ball is life.
He died. Quote that. Ball is life.
Quote, he died,
Ball is
a.k.a. ball is life.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. But we're the podcast for the site pixelatedpoints.com, where we talk about the news. No, we don't actually. We talk about the games that we've been playing during the week in a little segment we like to call Under Your Thumb, and then we take a quick break and come back with the drunken news, which we kind of just do this new thing now, where Steve reads the news and gives us points on topics that we kind of present.
Kind of like a game.
Yeah, it's kind of like a game
within a game within a video.
A game within a game about video games.
Yep.
Games
Makes
squared.
Perfect sense.
G3. You understand what I'm saying?
Full circle.
Full circle.
Right in there.
But Gary, tell me about your week.
Yeah.
I got nothing. Why are we talking about our week? I don't want to talk about our week. Why did nothing happen in my week? Why are you asking me about my week?
I don't know, man. I just want to keep the same thing.
Don't we just talk about games?
That's all we do here on this podcast.
Yeah.
We just talk
about Let's just talk about games.
Okay. Anthony, how was your week, pal?
Same as always. I did lose a Switch somehow, but other than that.
I was trying to impersonate the person that we are missing
that you
right
lost
now.
the Switch to.
Yeah, you might have lost the Switch to. But yeah, my week was fine, Ryan. I finally, and we'll talk about it, got my hands on a Lawbreakers beta code.
Nice.
That I was fighting for. I went through some troubles to get this beta code.
You don't have to do
Me and Cliffy,
no fault of your own.
No, I had no control over the situation whatsoever. I never at one point in time had a beta code in my hand,
and
put
left
it in
at
my
a restaurant
and left it at the bar once we left PAX East. That never happened to me.
Not
but
once.
I ended up playing the beta, so that was basically my week.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, it was a good week. Good
Cool.
week. We're doing this on a different night, so
yeah, we're doing it on Thursday night instead of.
I don't know what would happen
tomorrow.
tomorrow morning that I would have been able to bring to the table.
We'll wrap it up next week, though.
Next week is just going to be a longer under our
Before our pre-under your thumb
discussion.
Our
is going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be a day longer.
It's like, how's your week? That's How's your week? That's what we're calling
One more day for how's your week.
We'll draw.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm trying to get to. Ryan, how about you?
I had a movie riddled week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Movie riddled.
Yeah. So I saw Beauty and the Beast on Sunday.
Beautiful.
The live action.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I liked it. There's some things I didn't like, some things I did.
Overall,
the casting is great, and maybe except for Emma Watson, which
you almost said Emma Stone.
I almost said Emma
La
Stone.
La Land. Don't bring it down now.
No. So I think, and I'm stealing this idea from my fiance Tia, but the best Belle would be the chick from Shameless.
You act like
you've never seen Shameless?
No.
Yeah. I think.
No,
Emmy,
you keep
Emmy
telling me I
Rossum.
look like somebody on Shameless.
You do,
and I don't.
I'm gonna cut
watch
him
the
in.
show.
So you see this right here, Gary? Go ahead. Just give me one of these. Give me a smile.
Looking at you.
They're looking at the camera, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna cut him in there.
There we go.
But he looks just like Kevin from the show. But Emmy Rossum plays the lead character in Shameless, and
she would have been a better Belle.
She would have been a better Belle. Not to mention she played the lead in Phantom of the Opera back in like 2004, and that's basically Belle anyways. So
and this just brings me full circle.
Mm-hmm.
The girl from the movie Logan.
Yep.
X-23.
Yep.
Is she the same girl from Stranger Things on Netflix?
I haven't seen Stranger Things, and two, I know that she isn't because I checked IMDb. Justin gave me the whole spiel.
Justin
who?
After the movie, was just like, the girl from Stranger Things. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Stranger Things? Like, there was no girl from Stranger Things. He's like, the main character was from Stranger Things. I'm like, no, it wasn't. So thank you for clarifying.
There's another show that girl is on that Justin could be confusing with Stranger Things. But, that was not it. But I also saw Doctor Strange. I watched that last night. So has anyone seen Doctor Strange?
I have.
Thoughts?
Mediocre.
It's the same Marvel movie over and over again. Guy doesn't know he has powers, gets trained by this
Fucks things up.
weird people, senseis, teaches them everything. There's always one guy that's explaining everything verbatim. Like, this is what this is. This is what this is. This is what this is. And then there's always that big end fight that happens at the end of a movie. And it's the Marvel. I mean, it hits all the points. It hits all the Marvel points. I think it's a piece of shit, though.
I thought So I went in there thinking it was going to be a huge turd.
Yeah.
I went in there not high expectations whatsoever. I thought it was better than what I expected it to be.
It's a mediocre turd.
Yeah, it's a mediocre turd. I didn't really think much of it. I'm glad that they introduced him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I thought that the movie itself was kind of Inception on crack, but not really all that good. Other than that, though.
You see it in theaters?
No.
I was gonna say.
My friend let me borrow the Blu-ray.
There you go.
Thank you, Jess. But yeah, I wouldn't really watch it again.
No.
No.
Are we still talking about Doctor Strange?
I mean, we're wrapping up right now.
Yeah.
But we're a podcast about video games, so we're actually going to get into the games that we've been playing during the week. And I think that we can probably just start with the game that most of us have played this week. Gary, you want to let us know what that is?
Mass Effect.
Yeah, it is.
Andromeda.
Yeah. All right.
So obviously last week I talked about it. And I just want to say I am not going to be as negative as I was last week. So last week, I will say I was caught up in a little bit of the GIF hype, a little bit of the
facial
5-second videos that were going out there, the facial expressions, the animations of the game. And now that I've actually dived into the game, and I'm much farther than either of you guys are.
Yep.
So I don't want to spoil anything.
Do you want to say how many hours you think you are?
Probably anywhere from 12 to 16 hours.
Okay, so I just started today, and I'm about 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
Anthony?
Double that.
Okay, so about 5 to 6.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Did you guys change the characters at all? You create...
I changed it.
Oh, I always
No,
keep...
that guy looks so terrible.
The guy does look terrible.
No, he was such...
But I always keep him. I always keep him.
I couldn't look at him. I was just like, I'm going to punch this guy in the face.
He has a punchable face, man. He has a very punchable face. Scott Ryder, yeah.
So the one thing that Justin wanted me to tell you guys today. This is Justin's request.
All right.
It has to do...
Justin's request.
There it is. His one request is... He wanted you guys to ask, or he wanted me to ask you guys, what do you think he named his rider? So Scott Ryder, he customized his character.
So it's not Scott Ryder, it's something
not
Ryder.
Scott Ryder.
I'm gonna say Richard Ryder.
That's it. How well do you know this kid?
Dick Ryder.
Dick Ryder.
Immediately, dude. Not gonna lie, I read it and I was just like, I thought the same thing, but I was just like, I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
So that was Justin's one request, is that we talked about Dick Ryder.
End the podcast. We're done. That's it. There's no getting better. There's nothing better than that. We're done. Have a great night.
I looked at the face, I was like, the name, dude. I was just like, it's coming together.
Ryder is such a ridiculous name. It's such a ridiculous name. I will kind of why don't you guys tell me your thoughts, and then I can kind of add on to anything that I thought, because I'm a little bit further than you guys. So
sure. So initial impressions of the game, I started playing it, and the tutorial does a really good job of not really hitting you with all this heavy conversation, but more of just like, you're on this planet, you have to, your friends are in trouble, you got to go save them. So it's very, or action orientated, which I appreciate, because I thought this whole beginning of this game was going to be just conversation, slow. But it starts off pretty quick, and then it slows down. Mm-hmm. So the gameplay feels great. It just feels like Mass Effect. I shouldn't say great, because there's better third-person shooters. Let's be honest. But it feels like a slightly better Mass Effect. I like the jump and dash ability. I like that that's in there.
The jetpack.
I guess that's the jetpack, but like I use the dash a lot more than anything else.
You will use the jetpack.
I'm sure that I will.
Yeah.
So I'm going for more of an adept character. So yeah, boom.
That's it. I'm already adept level 3.
Yeah, so it was like I just found the first memory that you give to Sam, which is your artificial intelligence, and he's like, oh yeah, like unlock adept or like pick soldier, and I was like, fuck, add all the points into adept so I can pick adept.
Yeah.
So I thought the gameplay is fine. It feels better than normal Mass Effect, but it's a BioWare game. It's kind of like one of those. Like Fallout, Bethesda-esque thing, like what you're getting into when you're playing a Mass Effect game. Like you kind of understand that. And so with that being said, watching the animations, yes, it's weird. It is like the eye thing. His eyes they're both different. They're not the same eye. It's not like. It's like you made one model and then you made the right model, and the right model is way different than the left. It's like just make them two and just work together. And I don't know how to make video games, but it looks weird. That being said, it doesn't take me away from the story that's being told, even though that story isn't all that great.
You like the family stuff at the beginning of the game?
So I didn't get all the whole like, oh, she's my sister, bro. Like I
didn't
love
get it?
her. No, I got like.
Yeah, there was.
It was just like, oh, she's in a coma, and all I was just like, oh, is she gonna be okay?
The parts where he's talking about like we were like competing to be the best.
Nope, didn't get that either.
Didn't get any of
those
that.
conversations.
They might have cut. They might have cut it for the update.
I don't know.
Didn't get any of that.
I didn't get any of that like competition stuff. And maybe it was.
Maybe
I'll just
clarify.
The only one point was when she says she goes, she was born 1 second before me into this world. She had to be number. That was it.
No, like there was conversations that I've had where you were talking to like your father or somebody else.
I didn't have a single conversation with my dad.
Yeah, you never talked to your dad, and you didn't even know your father until you.
You didn't talk to him before you went to the planet.
No, like so the game kind of starts you off.
Interesting, very interesting.
Yeah.
So
the game starts you off is like you're just kind of you play a character and then you wake up from cryo sleep for 600 years, and then they're like, oh, we just hit this fucking floating seaweed thing, and then it's just
the
like
Scourge,
the Scourge, whatever it is, and then they're like, oh, that's Sector 7. What is it called? Planet 7?
It is Planet 7, yeah.
Whatever
Habitat
it is.
7.
Habitat 7, thank you. And then they're like, oh, your sister's, she suffered a little, she's a little concussed. She's going to go into a coma. And then you're like, oh, my God, is she okay? And they're like, yeah, she'll be fine. It's just go do your own shit. And then the dad gives this speech where he's like, we're come here to explore, blah, blah, blah. And then you go out onto the planet and, shit happens. And then you get separated and then...
Interesting.
That's and then what happens from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was no. Maybe they got there's no way. How the fuck? There's no way that you must have did something.
Something that was like I don't know. I mean, like I got the impression like he was talking about him and his sister were always in a competition. How like she would have wanted to be the best, and like he had like a long conversation about his sister, and then like the whole thing with the father. Like we'll say, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's something that happens with the father, and like that whole thing I find very cheesy. The one cool tidbit though is if you customize your character, your father does change depending on how you customize your character.
That's pretty cool.
To look more
so what is your could you customize?
He's got like long slick back hair.
My dad looked like a scruffy salt and pepper.
Yeah, I had the same father as
because we picked the same
dad.
Yeah. Customized,
That's cool though. I appreciate that.
So that's
I wonder if your sister will look different.
No, I customized her as well.
Oh, okay, so. That makes sense.
Because Sarah Ryder looks real bad.
Yeah, she looks drugged up.
Cora, I saw her and I was like, why doesn't the main character look like Cora here? That just makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, I think I might have left Kensington or something like that. Very beginning, it's like we're trying to be friendly with these aliens, and then they shoot them. I don't know if you can save them.
You left him behind.
No, I didn't leave him behind. I went to I was like, oh, we're trying to be friendly, and then they shot him, and I went, fuck. So I don't know if you can say
I don't know. I'm trying to be an asshole as much as possible.
Oh,
That's how I do Mass Effect. Like as soon as we went on that first planet, they're like, don't shoot unless you get shot at. As soon as I saw an alien, I'm shooting them.
Also, can we talk about the morality system really quickly?
Yep.
No morality. No renegade.
It's tone now.
There's like, it's emotional. There's
logical,
4 responses.
Yeah. Logical,
emotional, professional, logical, and casual. And they're fucking, I don't know.
Weird.
They're weird.
Well, that's what I was saying last week, is that it makes it for you don't really know what to expect out of your character, which is something that is different than previous Mass Effects. So like previous Mass Effects, you knew you were being a dickhead, you knew you were being a renegade, so you like the path made sense for how like conversations went, how you acted. Right now, you're kind of all over the place. Like, you know, I'm trying to be a dick as much as possible, but sometimes they just don't give you that choice.
Yeah, well, they don't. I feel... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and so you don't get that choice. So then I'm like, what's the worst one out of the 2 that I can pick? And then, I mean, the one thing, I'm trying to bang every single chick that I see.
Obviously.
On every planet. I've got the love little symbol, the little love heart. I've got it on like 4 different girls going right now.
Haven't that yet.
Yeah, and I'm fucking pounding that love button.
That deep
That's what I'm doing.
Pounding that love button.
Pounding that love button is what I do. So Brian, you obviously haven't gone to the first world EOS yet.
No.
So you're still in the Nexus.
I'm still on the Nexus. I'm running around doing a bunch of
Have you even been on the Tempest yet? Which is
the
ship?
Normandy? No, I have not. Although I have found the Normandy toy in my dad's office. Stole that real quick.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of them around. They're kind of collectibles.
Yeah,
that you can find.
Cool. But yeah,
what about you, Anthony?
So I did make it to the first planet, and then when you get to finally control the Tempest, it is the same like Mass Effect from 3, where you get to explore the universes, and then kind of mine the minerals, and then go on to the planet, which is what I wanted from
Mass Effect game.
That you could kind of pick the planets, and then I mean it makes sense that they're looking for a new habitat that you would explore multiple planets.
But it also
limits.
It alerts you when there are minerals to find, so you don't spend your time scanning a planet. That doesn't have anything.
That's what they did in 2, right? In
no, 2 you had to mine. Like 2 you had to scan planets.
Maybe
3 I think they might have changed it up. But like this, it's like, because the first couple planets, I'm like literally like it's left trigger to scan the planet. I scan every inch of the planet and don't get anything. I'm like, what the hell? Like it says they're minerals, and then as soon as I back out, it's like, you know, alert, and then you have to send a probe out to a certain other location, and then it brings you to get those minerals wherever. And while we're on the topic of flying throughout space, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. So the going from planet to planet, from solar system to solar system, like it feels like you're literally flying through the solar system or flying through space. Like the way that everything's mapped out and how you approach things, and how once you come up to a planet, even when you get into your ship, your outlook of your galaxy map, and like when you're at your captain's deck, you're overlooking the planet that you're about to land on.
Nice.
And it looks really fucking sweet. And then the other thing...
Well, I mean, it must look extra sweet. Ultra sweet on that
sweet.
PC.
It does. It does. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. It really does.
Nice.
But it's also... The other thing I like about it when you're mining planets is... I'm pretty sure you could probably do this on consoles as well, is you can get rid of the UI around the planets themselves, and then you can literally just 360 degree spin around the planet and just see the visuals of how it looks to the sun of the solar system, and it's pretty remarkable how you go in between planets. And they do it because of loader screens. Like obviously it like kind of pans out really slowly, and then
but it's still something gives you nice to look at and engage.
The new Zelda does that. I wish a lot more games would let you get rid of
the loading screen.
Even I'm talking about like the hub, where you can get rid of all the UI shit.
Yeah, and
so you can just kind of look at what it is.
Horizon,
when everything's
Horizon's photo mode does the exact same thing.
Yeah. Right.
A lot of games are going towards that. Yeah. I think The Witcher used to do that, or The Witcher at least did that on PC.
I mean, it just seems like it wouldn't be too difficult to just, for an option, just turn off the hub.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool feature. going in between planets. The UI is very smooth in the game. I mean, I love fucking outer space, so it's just like, what fucking
You mentioned that last week.
Like, what planet is that?
Yes.
We're flying there? Like,
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So I think it's really well done.
I just want to put this out there. I've only played, like I've only said, under 3 hours. I feel like people giving it 6 and 7s, and this is just my initial 3 hours, is that I felt like people either had way crazy expectations for this game, or I just haven't gotten to a point where it's like redundant and boring. But these first 3 hours, I'm like, yeah, this is what Mass Effect is. Like, there's nothing.
So you think it's the beta thing?
I don't know,
Brian. I think it's a bandwagon mentality.
You think so?
I really think so. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who is deciding to not purchase this game based off of reviews. And
I was going to do the same thing.
And he's looking at it going, it's a 75 on Metacritic. Multiple people are saying the same thing. I judge that. And I'm like, from somebody that is playing the game, that has put almost 15 to 16 hours into the game, I'm telling you, if you enjoy Mass Effect, you will enjoy this game.
And that's
the thing, right? So last week, I even jumped on like the animations. Like, yeah, the animations are pretty
bad.
fucking shitty.
But if
like,
you look
shitty.
at previous Mass Effects,
They're
they're
roughly
never all that great.
Justin retweeted a Mass Effect 3 facial gif, and Justin thought that it was Mass Effect Andromeda. And I literally had to explain to him that it was Mass Effect 3. But besides the point, the game itself, the core mechanics, and I'll get into a couple of the core mechanics that I think are really, really well done. The animation don't take away from it, right?
No.
It's the gameplay is improved on the Mass Effect formula, which doesn't take much. Like, it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
And it's improved upon, which is good. But my biggest thing and my biggest takeaway, and Anthony, you can maybe speak to this a little bit, is the exploration of the planets themselves are way more massive than has ever been in a Mass Effect game. It's way less linear. So beforehand, it was kind of you'd fall into a planet, and then it's like, this is the pathway.
Yep.
You're going to go this way. Now
Here's
it's
the scenario on this planet.
Now it's literally you get onto a planet. There's just 15 side missions you can do. Just go.
Okay.
Go onto the planet. You have a Tempest. You have a car. You're riding over shit. You can go up the side of a mountain. You can get up. One planet that I was just exploring last night, and I'm still not done with it, has 7 different levels to the planet. So, like, there's 7 levels to this one planet. And, like, I'm literally not doing main missions anymore.
Yeah, just running
I'm
around.
just running around exploring, farming minerals, fighting aliens, and exploring. And then the other thing that they bring on to the map itself is that there's a bunch of different fast travel locations now. So you'll see a spot on your map that will have like a white symbol on it. If you walk up to that, a drop pod will fall from the sky on that location and be like, okay, now you can select your loadout, so you can add weapons, you can change your armor, and then you can also call in your Nomad, your vehicle, if you need to call it in, or you can go back to your Tempest from any different location, or you can fast travel in between these locations. So, like, the verticality of the levels themselves, and just the sheer fact of open world RPG farming is incredible. It really is. And each planet, I've been on now 4 different planets.
Nice.
Each planet is very different than the last. And that is something that is really, really fucking cool. And I'm talking about like this last planet, like a lot of it, it's 7 different levels, but it's very vertical, but it still like looks like a rainforest, or it looks like a jungle. But it's very vertical in the scale of it. I've also been
hide in trees.
You can climb on trees. You can climb on magic mushrooms, like all that shit.
Wonderful.
And then a planet before that I was on was all ice. It was all ice. It was like a
So
snow
you
planet.
went to Hoth, and then you went to Endor.
There we go. Yeah.
It's like episode 5, then 6.
What's the desert?
Tatooine.
Then that's Eos.
That's Eos.
Yeah.
So in Tatooine's before Hoth?
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle.
So that's like the biggest thing to me, is that once you get away from the animations, the story itself, I feel like, just because it's Mass Effect, we haven't reached what the story actually is. I think,
yeah,
we think, okay, we're trying to, we left humanity 600 years ago, and now we're trying to find a new home for the humans, right? That's the story they're telling us, but
something bigger.
There's something happening. There's something happening. Obviously, they're trying to create a new trilogy, so something's going to happen probably halfway through the game. And then once that happens, then the real story is going to pick up, and then something will happen at the end of the game, which will be a cliffhanger to get to the next one. But I don't think the story is just going to be we're just trying to find a new home. Yeah. If that's what the story is, I'm probably going to be slightly disappointed in the game. But it's when you push aside the animations, you push aside even the story right now, and just appreciate the gameplay and the RPG mechanics. It's a nice addition to the Mass Effect series.
Yeah,
I think it's really good.
So I went in, and maybe this is again like I went in with pretty low expectations because of I was caught up in the whole, terrible animations. This game is not so great. It's not the Mass Effect that you know and love. And I started playing it, and I noticed right away, the animations are a little weird, but it's Mass Effect. Like this is a Mass Effect game. It is a worthy addition to the Mass Effect series, and I don't understand why everyone is so down on it right now.
It's a bandwagon mentality.
I think that it's just the first thing to kind of stumble. So you got Resident Evil, then you got Horizon, then you got Zelda, and now you have Mass Effect. And Mass Effect is the first major AAA title that kind of stumbled and didn't hit all the marks that it was supposed to. And people are just they just have all this pent up
disappointment
negativity.
For the year.
It's the first disappointment, which is not a disappointment for me right now.
No, it's not. And I think I was saying last week that I thought it would be, but I think looking back on it now and what I was playing, I think the beginning of the game, rightfully so. You could look at it and be like, this isn't what I want the next Mass Effect to be. But once the world really opens up and you get through the tutorial and you get through where they cut me off in the trial, it's very I'm not doing main story anymore. I've literally been doing 15 different side missions I'm working on in farming minerals. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. And I'm crafting armor. The one thing that it's crazy is the amount of armor and loot in this game is actually insane. There's a ton of different things that you can do in this game. And there's a ton of different armor you can find. There's merchants you can buy stuff from. But at the end of the day, if you're just farming minerals, I spent last night probably 2 hours on this one planet doing side missions and farming minerals, and then by the time I got back to my ship, I was able to farm or craft an entire armor set and 2 new weapons. And it was because I just was farming everything. I got back and I'm like, I have all these minerals, I got to start putting them to use. But that's what you can do.
Yeah. Or you could just play the main story.
Or you could. And then you customize the colors of all your armor, the shades of it, the weapons, the attachments,
the mods and everything for
all the mods for it. You develop, you find blueprints, you develop those blueprints, and then you create them, and then you get the points for scanning certain items. And depending on what solar system you're in, you can
craft those 2 different weapon categories.
You craft different alien weaponry depending on that location. And then I think the crafting and the RPG mechanics in the game are really well done. I think it's really well done. I think the gameplay itself is very solid. I think that the ability to have all the abilities is interesting. Where we talked about it a little bit last week.
You're not locked
you're not
into
just
one thing.
an adept character. You're not just a soldier. You're not just an engineer. You can literally I have one class, and now I'm full adept. I'm adept level 3 now. I have pull, which the thing that's fucking sweet about pull now is that you can literally pull and hold somebody in the air.
The Darth Vader.
So you can Darth Vader people. So all I've been doing is just sucking people to me and just punching them in the face. Sucking them and just punching them to the face. And that's how pull works. And now you upgrade so you have 2 people. Literally, I can just pull 2 people off from behind cover and just look off the edge of the map and just throw them off the map. And then you're done with that.
Pull, throw.
Or pull punch, you know. And then I'm using shockwave, and then I'm using, I think it's Leer or something. It's you shoot
the spear.
The spear.
Yep.
So I'm using those 3, and I'm upgrading that. But
it's a solid fucking choice.
It fucking wrecks people in the face. And then I also, because you have a favorites wheel. So I don't know if you guys have used that.
I did that,
So on my favorites wheel, I have a class that is a cryo beam. I have the barrier, and then I have the Krogan rocket launcher on one class. So at any point in time, I can literally just switch from either being adept and using my abilities, or I can go full on
like
rocket
soldier,
launcher barrier with a cryo beam. And you can then set up 4 different classes. So in any particular, the only downside of this is you can't switch your weapons. So you can't switch your weapons, but you can switch your abilities.
Yeah.
So, but that's an interesting switch on the gameplay itself. I'm liking it though, because you get to create a character of your own, right? So like when in the older Mass Effect games, you're creating an adept character, you're creating a soldier, an engineer, whoever, and you only had these abilities that you can pick from. Now you can say, well, maybe, yeah, I like adept, but
I want this one Vanguard skill.
I want this tech skill. I want this combat skill. I want this and that. And I want to mix it in between with what I'm working with. And then you created your own class. And I think that's interesting. I think that's really interesting. I think it's cool.
So I'm like right at those, like that pre-stage where it's showing me like, hey, you have points. You can allocate this to really anywhere that you want.
Yep.
So at this
it doesn't
point,
hold anything back either.
Yeah.
It gives you everything like you can choose
right
from.
out of the gate. I'm like, all right, what does this do? What is this skill? Like, let me look at all these skills and see like what I would want to use in a combat scenario.
And then also, fun fact, go into your settings and you can turn to have your helmet on during cutscenes.
Oh, that's probably key.
The better, so the animations aren't as bad.
Well, 1, you take away the animations that you would see, and then 2, like if you're on a planet that they're talking about that there's radiation on, your guy's not just sitting there
with
in the
his helmet.
cutscene with his helmet on.
Yep.
Or with his helmet off. Like that was one thing last week that I was like, what the fuck? And the default setting is to have their helmet off during cutscenes.
To show those facial expressions.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy. But that's a pro tip out there. That's a pro tip out there. And then I also...
Hold on, before we go off,
Okay.
I have a story about Mass Effect.
Okay.
So I pre-ordered it from Best Buy. Supposed to come with a steelbook. Free steelbook. Get it on Tuesday. Guess what's not in the mail?
Mass Effect.
No. I have the game.
Bingo.
Steelbook.
Don't have the steelbook. So I called customer service. Well, first I chatted customer service.
That's the worst
20
experience.
minutes later, the guy, it took him 12 minutes to look up my order.
Yep.
12 minutes. 20 minutes later, he said he can't really help me. I just went, enjoy the rest of your shift. Thanks for all your help, bud. Close out of the thing. Call customer service today. 5-minute phone conversation with a gentleman named Alex at Best Buy customer service. Alex, thank you. I call him and I just go, I pre-ordered this game. I didn't get the steelbook. Can you do something for me? And he goes, yeah, I see everything that's going on here. So we're actually going to do a reshipment of this. I was like, what? And he was like, we're going to send you out the game again and the steelbook. And I went, but I already have the game. And he goes, yeah, I know, but we're just going to resend it out. And I went,
Okay.
There you go.
so you're going to send me a second copy of it? And he was like, yeah, so you could either take that game and bring it to the store, or you can just return it to us. And I was like, at no charge to me whatsoever. And he goes, yeah, why would we charge you? And I went, oh, yeah, that's a good point. Why would you charge me? Because you're sending me a fucking brand new game that I already have.
Perfect. And
So
somebody
don't
was
argue
gonna
with
give
it.
away.
No,
That would be
I'm
nice.
going to give it back. That's bad juju
Brian.
that I don't want on my.
Brian,
But
making a mistake.
they're gonna
That's a
send
mistake, Brian.
Yeah. They're gonna
That's coming from somebody that like I feel like I have some morals and like
I can't
He
do it.
fucked up. This is the Amazon way to do it.
But the guy
corrected
is
it.
sending me he's nice enough to be sending the steelbook and the game back and a return label, and I'm just gonna take out the steelbook, slap the return label back on it, and send it out. But yeah,
Hope they send it right fucking back.
But yeah.
Interesting.
it's a weird little side Mass
You
Effect
always have
stories.
something happen when you
Customer service, man.
You're
They don't
crazy.
like me.
I just go all digital. All digital.
Smart move,
That's it.
I guess.
walk
But
out the
I was
door.
going to ask, so do you think the demo did more harm or good?
It potentially might have, because people wouldn't have been seeing all these animations so soon.
Oh, I mean, and I also meant in the regard of like, because you said right about when the demo ends is when it picks up.
Yep.
And so do you think had there not been that demo that ended, people probably might have just banged through it and got to...
Potentially, because literally the mission that you're going on, and I'll explain so that way you guys know where it cut me off. Right. On Eos, the first planet, there's a part of the mission, the main mission, where you have to try to go inside the planet, right? And there's a door.
I'm not there.
No, you're not there.
No, but
so
I know. Yeah.
When you go inside the planet, there's a door. When you get to that door, it's gonna open for you because you have access. Where I didn't have access,
so
it was stay closed. So I then went around the planet for 3 hours just farming shit, right? But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think because right after that part, there's a big sequence that happens, and it's pretty fucking sweet. I thought it was really well done, really cool. It's been done in a lot of different games, but at the same time, it felt fresh. And then from there, once you get off these planets, the one thing is, so you're trying to make these planets safe for humanity in this game. Yeah. So
livable planets.
Once you do something to these planets, you're able to pick kind of how you want to station on these planets, which is like, do you want to put scientists on this planet, or do you want to go military? I'm going full on military.
Not surprised
because I'm taking over Andromeda is what I'm doing.
I could have guessed.
That's it. That's all you got to do. But the one thing Andromeda. I will say is that the bases that you do pick, they allow you to walk around them and interact, and that's kind of like your home hub for these locations now. And it's really well done. Like, there's a lot of people going around it. There's ships coming in and out of your main base and stuff like that, and it just looks really, really, really cool. So I think they've done a really good job with that. There's also a new Species that I do enjoy. Like, I think they're really interesting. All I'll say is they're called the Angara. And
I'll keep an eye out.
Keep out for the Angara.
Planet 1 or 2. Or further down.
2 or 3?
Wow, so way down there.
Yeah, so you'll see them. But they're really cool. They're really interesting. I like their home world. And then the side missions I've been doing for them have been really interesting. Flying in between worlds, I've already said it. Crafting system, open worlds. Cover system is a piece of shit.
Oh,
I will say that.
Yeah. Brutal. It's like whatever you walk up next to, it's like, oh, I'm up against this.
Yeah.
I just prefer the Gears of War cover system.
Yeah. And then the only other negative I have towards it is you're not allowed to choose your companion's abilities in combat. So you can't tell your companions, like, you should pull that. So you can't set up like these massive combos where you're like, in previous games, like I would tell someone, overload that person, I'm going to pull them, and then you're going to shockwave.
Yeah.
Like, now you can only tell them, go there, or come to me. There's no use your abilities.
Yeah.
So what happens is, because you get to choose your companion's abilities in the main menu when you're leveling up people.
Yeah.
I'm just auto leveling them up because I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't, because I can't use their abilities. They're just with me.
What I've been doing is I have the one guy, Liam. I don't know if you have Liam. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
You got
I'm sure I do, but he's not with me.
Yeah, so the one guy I have is Liam, and it's like level up Liam, and he has like a few different things, and I was just like, it was increase his damage and shields, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do those two because the other things I can't, like, I can't touch.
Use. Yeah.
So you might as well give him more health and more damage, so he might be able to do something.
Yeah. So I always, just so you know, with Mass Effect, I always roll with a Krogan. Is got it. You have to have a Krogan in your squad. They're fucking hysterical, and they do massive damage. And then the Asari. Is it Asari?
The blue.
The blue.
Yeah. The blue girl is the adepts. I always got to roll with them. Those are my two like go-tos in all the Mass Effects. So I'm rolling with the same crew for the most part, just different names and different animations and different voice actors. And
the voice actors.
Same species, just different overall.
Different.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So, but I'm actually really, really enjoying it. I think it's just one of those games that people want to hate right now because of a silly thing like animation.
I think
there's much more to this game.
Looking back, like in 2 years from now, people are going to go like, it was criminally overlooked. It's going to be one of those games where it's like, yeah, it was a big game, but people really gave it a lot of shit for
for very minimal stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like going back to like Skyward Sword. A lot of people really liked Skyward Sword when it first came out, but looking back, it kind of sucked.
I didn't.
It always
so
sucked. It always sucked.
But you know what I'm saying.
No,
you know
I
what I'm
know.
saying.
No,
No.
don't.
well, the more apt comparison was everybody gave Wind Waker shit
Oh, when it first came out.
when it first came out, and then now.
I stand by that.
Wow.
Fuck you.
To this
Anyways,
day.
anything else that you played this week? Or do you have anything else on Mass Effect?
No, nothing else for Mass Effect. Like I said earlier, I got a Lawbreakers code.
Nice. Played
Yeah, I
that
did.
beta?
I did. I played it for about 2 days, so I had 2-day access, which was
okay.
nice. Looking back at it now, this is how I actually got the code. I'll tell you my secret. I literally just typed in Lawbreakers beta code on
Someone.
Twitter, and somebody just literally was just like, I don't want this code, and just threw it up there, and nobody else grabbed it, and I was just sitting there typing in codes on Steam, and one worked, so I got in.
Nice.
So I just stole a code from Twitter.
You just gave out a great tip that now.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, no, it's open there for everybody.
You're
right?
welcome, listener.
There you go.
One guy.
So I was
Stealing our codes.
super
Lawbreakers.
pumped to play Lawbreakers, and
We know.
yeah. I will say that it lived up to everything that I hoped it was.
Very nice.
It's fucking awesome. It really is really well done. I think it is going to be a shooter that takes me away from Overwatch when it does come out, which is saying a lot.
You think?
Yeah.
That if Overwatch is done for me because of this game, that's pretty remarkable. But I didn't want to stop playing it. Like, it was just one of those, and we were only playing there was only 2 maps on the beta and 2 game modes. So it was pretty repetitive. And then they had 5 different characters that you were able to choose from, but there was no like character limit. So it wasn't like if I played as the Enforcer for the most part.
Yeah.
But there could be 4 other Enforcers if need be, or we could have Assassins, or you have the meta class. But I like the Enforcers. So the Enforcers' abilities were very simple. So you had an assault rifle. You had speed ability where you can go, movement speed was a lot faster, and then you had an EMP grenade, and then once you got your ultimate, you had like lock-on missile launcher.
So soldier.
Pretty much
76.
like a soldier. And then the one thing that I thought, like, I just couldn't get over how fucking cool it was in the center of all the maps, there's a zero grav area that when you jump into zero grav, there's a button which is on PC, it's control, where you literally point your gun behind you and shoot yourself through the zero grav. I thought, like, that is ridiculous. Like, the fact that I can speed boost into zero grav, jump, gain speed, and then get momentum by just shooting my gun behind me, and then continue on, and then reload my gun and start shooting.
Can you shoot your gun behind you at any point in the game?
Yeah.
So if someone was chasing behind you, you could
shoot behind you
with
one button.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's like a Cliffy B thing. He fucking does like weird shit like that.
Watching the gameplay, which you can watch over on youtube.com, search Pixelated Points. Gary played a little bit, but watching the gameplay, you're just like, fuck, this feels so much like the first Unreal Tournament that I'm like, God, I don't need a PC, but don't I?
But you do. It's so good.
Wow.
So like
Joining
just
Justin
like,
on that one. Okay.
So like those mechanics are like just really fucking sweet. The fact that you can just turn your gun around behind you at any point in time. So like, and then there's one character, like it helps with mobility because everybody has different speeds on how they run, how they jump. And so if you're like the tank character with a rocket launcher, you literally can just point your rocket launcher behind you and shoot it off to gain momentum and get speed. So you don't have to sprint, but you got this rocket launcher that you can shoot behind you and shoot yourself off into zero
Still
grav.
kills people, right?
Oh yeah. And then like the assassin class has like a leash that you can then shoot off and be like Spider-Man and whip around. And then the one thing, and I put it in the clip that you can see on YouTube. The very last clip, there's these metallic balls that are in the zero grav. And what it does is it's kind of acts as a magnetic field. So if you are in zero grav and you jump up to it, it pulls you towards it. But you can get momentum by circling around these metallic balls and then shoot yourself off. And it is so much fucking fun. It is really, really, really cool. It was really interesting to see how the zero grav was going to work, the mobility, and just like the pace of the game is really, really interesting how they have these ultimates. The one game mode was there's this battery that you would spawn in the middle of the map, And instead of taking this battery and putting it into the enemy's base, you had to bring it to your base, and you had to plant it in your base, and then it had to charge to 100%. The enemy team at that point in time can come and steal the battery and bring it to their base and try to charge it to 100%. And once it gets to 100%, you get a point, and then it's up to 2 points. And
I feel like this is a mode in Unreal Tournament.
Yeah, so it's very different than having to go to the enemy team's base. You're having to, hey, I'm stealing this. I'm bringing. You got to come to my base.
Yeah,
and then you got to break into their base. So then it comes down to like it's an Overwatch style as well, where you got to chain your combos together and have your different ultimate abilities. Like the medic just does a bubble shield that heals everyone inside of it, deflects all damage. So it's just really, really fucking fun. In fast paced, there's a gunslinger class. There's about 5 or 6 different classes they showed off. I don't know how many will be in the actual retail game.
There's 5 different let's say there's 5 different classes. Is there different characters in each class? Well,
each team has a different character for that class. So there's the Law, and then there's the Breakers.
Okay.
So each team has the gunslinger. It looks different, but they're the same character. They have the same abilities, have the same weapons. There is customization within like loot boxes
So
for your weapons, different skins, all that type of stuff. So it has all the bells and whistles. And then it looks like they have custom games that are coming for the full release. And then they obviously are going to have some competitive games. But I just think like, I don't think we've reached the peak of what this game is actually going to be. Like, I think the mobility and the zero grav and like just the combos that people are going to be able to do with this is going to be fucking incredible. And like, that's why like when I first started playing it, I'm like, I don't really know. Like, I feel like I'm moving really slow. And then by the time I was done with the beta, I was like, I'm fucking flying around. So I know there's a lot of mobility that needs to be done within the game. And I just think it was a lot of fucking fun. So nice. I highly recommend Lawbreakers, hopefully coming out soon. I don't even know if they have a release date.
I don't think they do.
But hopefully soon. Cliffy B.
Thanks for the code.
Thanks for the code. I appreciate it. I did lose it, but then I got one. Sold it from Twitter. Appreciate it.
Pro tip.
Might have been the same one. Yeah. Might have found it.
Somebody might have found it and been like, fuck this game, and then tweeted out my own beta code. So maybe it was mine. I earned it. So I'm done. Brian.
Yeah.
What did you play this week?
So besides Mass Effect, I actually finished Horizon Zero Dawn this week. It's really fucking good. It's definitely my game of the year so far. Yeah.
There's a lot of good games that came out this year.
There's a lot of good games that came out this year.
Zelda came out
this year. And yeah, that gigantic open exploration world didn't do it for me. Horizon did. The story, I will say, is far-fetched and way outlandish.
At the end?
Just in general. I will say it is far-fetched and outlandish and...
Not what you expected, I guess?
I wasn't expecting... I had a philosophy, I had a theory that didn't pan out, which is okay. I think that my theory would have been a little bit more... I think it would have been better, but that's not the case. It's very weird. It explains why things are the way that they are in this world, and it does so in a way that semi makes sense.
I kind of want to know.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
But I also kind of want to play.
Yeah, I also know that you want to play the game. But I found that like
shit. Spoil it.
The animations are much better than Mass Effect. So like the interactions and things like that.
Take much, I guess, right?
But Steve, can you start taking points away for the news just because of that comment?
Yeah,
like picking on a game that's already down. But like, god damn it.
The character, it's weird too because the writing in this is okay, but this primitive culture shouldn't know how to speak the way that they're speaking. There's lots of idioms. There's lots of sarcasm that you're like, I don't know if you should really...
Shakespeare was very sarcastic.
Yeah, but to the point where it's like I would say this line, not...
E2 Brunus?
E2 Brute.
Whatever.
I also, getting back to Mass Effect real quick, the only issue I have with like the way that they speak about this is that they all have like different accents, and like they're from like an Australian accent, there's an English accent, there's an American accent, and it's like, you've been away from Earth for 600 years. Like, how do you guys not all just speak the same?
In cryos, they've been
They're
frozen.
in cryo sleep for.
But they're not for 600 years. They've been like, there's people that have been waiting for them to come, and they still speak with an Australian accent. I'm like, bro, I've been floating for 600 years. You guys all still speak differently. That's crazy.
But either way, back to Horizon. Game's fucking really pretty. Game's really, really pretty.
Seen you tweeting out those screenshots.
Yeah.
I dropped those likes.
It's a me, BT.
It's a me, BT on Twitter.
Shameless.
Screenshots of every Horizon corner that you can find.
No, the map.
I mean, it looks fucking great.
Oh, my Breath of the Wild ones are coming. So
yeah, I see you jumping. I got it, and I sent out a couple Mass Effects last night. So we just like screenshot city over here.
But
Anthony, get on it.
I don't know if
69.
you've noticed like what so. The tweets that I've sent out, it's like, all right, now I'm in, a desert, but then I'm in the snow, and then I'm in the water, and all of these places are within
like Hoth and
Tatooine and Endor. But it's so weird because like it's all about elevation of where you are. So like if you're high up, there's snow.
Good tune.
There's snow, but if
2001.
if you're low, it's just like a normal canyon.
Yeah.
So I think they do a really good job with earth building, I guess, or like just making the world believable. Besides the robotic dinosaurs,
does it make sense
why
now that you've completed the game? Does everything make sense why there's robo dinosaurs?
Does it add up?
And does it like you're okay with it?
Can you live with it?
I'm sure they wrapped it up and they made it look all nice.
The story the story that they told, it makes sense, but again, it's outlandish.
I don't like the way you're explaining that. I just don't.
So it's.
Can you live with yourself?
So I can live with the story that they told, and I can be okay with it.
I just don't see the passion coming out of you in the story itself.
Fair enough.
Rather than, I think the gameplay is spewing out of you. The map, the gameplay.
Well, so
the graphics, the story is like pulling teeth right now.
So what you can do is you have that detective mode where you can scan the different robotic beasts, if you will, the machines they call them. Yeah. You can see their strengths and weaknesses, and different parts of that animal might have, its body might be weak to fire, but its fire canister isn't. So you have different types of arrows and different types of weapons that you can use. So there's like these little grenades that you shoot with a slingshot. So a super helpful tip: freeze everything and then just shoot the shit out of it, because it does like triple damage. But the gameplay itself is fantastic. I love the slowdown mechanic of it if you want. I love the sliding around, the placing traps and then luring them into.
The slowdown mechanic was in the most recent Max Payne game.
Which nobody.
Don't know if I agree with you.
You play Max Payne?
I played Max Payne 3, yeah.
You didn't like the...
I didn't say I didn't like it. I don't think it's the best after
me?
Playing Horizon.
Okay.
Shit.
All right. Well, I haven't played Horizon. I'm just going to throw out that Max Payne reference.
No, I agree. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah. So maybe Horizon's better.
But not robot dinosaur.
But not robot dinosaur fantastic.
I don't want to hear those words. I don't have my partner that can help pack on the robot dinosaur.
You really gonna take advice from this guy after naming someone Richard Rider?
For you, there is one robotic dinosaur in the game. There's one type of enemy that is an actual dinosaur. Everything else is an animal.
That's not true.
It's one too many.
That is 100% true.
That's not true. I've seen the trailers.
Because No Man's Sky trailers.
No Man's Sky out
Boom,
there.
Accurate.
I seen the trailers. I seen them fighting the fucking dinosaur, and then you got the walking dinosaur that you have to climb as a tower. That's fucking 2 dinosaurs right there. Just name 2. I'm telling you, they're fucking dinosaurs.
But the map itself is huge, and there's so many fucking little things to do. So there is your main quest, and the way that they do side quests is super smart. on your way to the main quest, you bump into these side quests. And I think I spoke about this a little bit, where it's like, okay, here's a side quest. Go off, 200 feet that way and complete the side quest and come back and do it. But then when you like get into a city, it's like there's a ton of little side quests that then you have to go out and do your own thing. And those are do
you have like a stamina bar? Like
no,
when you're running to these side quests?
Run. You can
like
run.
when you run to the side quests?
You don't have to stop and
or whistle jump your way through it.
So you can actually call a mount, very similar to Shadow of Mordor, where you can ride like robotic rams, and that's super
it would be nice, like in open world games, if you could actually like physically call like a mount or horse. If you could ring in a horse, it's not stuck at a stable that's on the other side of the map.
Well, because your horse wouldn't really hear your whistle if it's on the other side of the fucking map, right?
Hey, man, it's a game. It's a game.
It's a game. Oh, so yeah, okay. So some games are allowed to be realistic and some aren't, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm just saying your game in particular. I remember
you would like it to be. You would like it to be less realistic, right?
Your little ocarina calling your horses in a game.
Well, it's not 1998 anymore.
All I'm saying. All I'm saying.
I mean, you have to learn.
Maybe
the
Horizon
skill.
needs to step into.
You need to learn the skill because you can't just call them out whenever. If you learn the skill, then you can call them out whenever. But I thought that the. Just to kind of wrap up really quickly, I thought that the story was interesting and it kind of ended like 4 or 5 different times because I thought I was right at the end because one of the characters was like, are you sure you want to do this? Because if you have any loose ends, you got to do it right now. And I was like, nah, let's fucking finish it. And then I had like 5 hours of missions.
That's what like The Witcher 3 did to me.
And I was just like,
there's one mission where you think you're about to beat the game and you
it's a turning point of the game.
You're like, man, like, all right, I got to get everything ready. And then you go and do it. And then it's not the end of the game. And then you're just like, fuck. Like, I just put all my energy into that last mission.
Well, that's the thing is that like when they say there's no turning back at this point, you're like, okay, this is the end of the game.
Yes, and you're like,
and then you click yes, and then there's like
you're
4 more missions.
At that point.
So there's another mission that's like, are you sure you want to do this? There's no turning back. And I clicked yes, and I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, and then that was the end of the mission, the end of the game.
There you go.
I felt the end of the game, the final boss, really disappointing. Really, really disappointing. It was one of those, they're attacking the city, so kill all these monsters. And then they were like, here's a cannon that shoots a bunch of these grenades. And you're shooting the cannons off, and it's
kinda
like a special.
Gears of War 4.
Yeah, and I was just like, what are you doing? Like, this is not what the... And then the final boss fight is not what you... Like, I was expecting to, like, have this final one battle against this other...
The one-on-one type.
Yeah, and then that's not it.
And then a dinosaur comes out of nowhere.
You fight a machine, and then you, like... It's so anticlimactic.
Have you beat it yet?
Nah, I haven't even went back to it.
It's so the end is so very like, oh, that's not a cool ending to like the boss fight, but the game and the story itself wraps up nicely.
Yeah. No, I mean it's definitely one of those games that for me, I was like, fuck that game, Robo Dinosaurs. I don't give a shit about that. But it's a game that I might be like, hey Brian, put it on the list. Like,
long list.
That game at
the
some
long
point.
list of
put it on the list.
The laundry list.
I already got fucking like 20 things on that list, so might as well add it to
I'm
the
the
list.
game librarian, if you will.
Yeah, pretty much. But it is definitely a game that I would like to play at some point.
32 hours.
I fucking crushed it when you gave me that controller. I fucking.
You knew what you were doing.
And I never played it before.
You knew what you were doing.
Same thing from.
That's not. No,
we're bringing it up right now, Steven.
Wow.
You can check it out on YouTube. Coming out soon to you.
Soon to you. Guy on deck.
Check this motherfucker out.
NES classic.
Except for Glass Joe.
These fucking plebs.
Glass Joe got the better of you.
I'm pretty sure. Did Glass Joe get knocked out? Yes,
Now,
did Greg get knocked
had a
out?
tough time with Glass
I don't
Joe.
know. Greg had that fucking jab. He do the fucking little dance and then fucking left jab to your face.
Greg has that nasty
Hey, you guys like to shit on me, but guess who fucking won 3 games against you guys? So check it out on YouTube. We were playing the NES Classic. It's good fun. guy on the couch or
On
No.
deck.
Guy on deck.
Two guys on
Two guys on the couch.
Two guys on deck.
Yeah.
two guys on deck
On a couch.
Anyways,
on a couch.
I'm
There-
going to pass this over to Anthony here because I'm done with Horizon. But Anthony, go ahead and tell us what you've been playing during the week.
So the last would be obviously Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Well, I'm going to take a pee break right now,
All
so
right.
go ahead.
It's not much. It's an update of pretty much how far I've gotten. It's still continuing to interest me. I'm on the third temple, so
How many temples are there?
4.
There's 4.
There's 4.
So you're getting there.
There's 120 shrines, 900 of the little seeds.
Yeah, I've heard what the gift
Wait a minute.
is.
How
at
many of the
end.
seeds?
There's
900.
900.
I got 3.
You guys did not just hear what I heard, but yeah, Steve said he had 3.
Yeah.
Steve had 3 seeds.
Squeaking them out there.
He's just squeaking out some seeds. 900 of them. So yeah, I mean, I saw the prize you get for the seeds, and that seems ridiculous. But I don't really know what it does yet.
The prize?
Yeah.
It's the upgrade inventory.
No, I saw like the little thing that it gives you. You alright, Brian? No, not at all. Not at all. Okay, so how many shrines have you done?
46, I think.
Last week you were still at like 40. You were
No.
at like 41 last week.
Yeah, I didn't do many shrines. I only
Wow.
We
did
demand perfection
temples,
on
so I
this
did-
podcast.
Oof.
I don't
Dedicate
know
the time.
about that. I don't know about that.
But looking
Brian.
to get more of the seeds to upgrade the inventory to find pretty much more weapons, because weapons to me in this for game design of Zelda, like it's always been like the Master Sword, and then that's pretty much it.
That's all you need.
But
Yeah.
You just need the Master Sword.
So, I have 3 seeds. 4.
What?
But every single
You
one.
got to find those flowers, bud.
I didn't even know what
I
was going
have
on.
more than 4 seeds.
Yeah, I have 3.
I was
And I've
looking for-
upgraded like 4 times already.
All right. Jesus Christ.
Beating you.
Every seed's an upgrade, right?
No,
How many was it?
he doubles. He adds on a lot after a while.
No, but. Oh, what do you mean?
So it's one. He asks for 1 for each of them in the beginning. Then he'll ask for 2, but then he'll double
So
double
it'll be like 4.
Oh, so we got a little
4. I need 30.
exponential growth here going down.
exponential growth.
I got the growth.
Yeah, so it means 900. They're thinking that they'd be fucking
Right.
everywhere. That
Yeah, 900.
So I wonder what
fucking
the
seeds.
wonder what the
That's
max
crazy.
out is.
So you haven't really been doing
I think there's
shrines.
900 and some odd seeds.
900.
I put off a lot of
23.
shrines because
923 seeds.
923.
Yeah.
How many times?
What do you Rain
Yeah.
Man?
I'm just saying 923 seeds, 120 shrines, 4 dungeons.
How many dungeons have you both done? Anthony
3.
Anthony
I'm
threw
on
up the
third.
3.
I still haven't beaten the
He
boss
threw up
from-
the American 3, not the German 3.
Not the,
For all your
no.
Oh,
Inglorious Bastard
Whoa.
fans? No?
no.
What?
I'm staying away from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not.
Okay,
Please
anyway.
stay
We're
on
not,
this.
affiliated
With this guy.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Tarantino, man.
God, Brian.
Anyways,
Wow.
but Steve, go ahead.
Well, I haven't beaten one. Well, I met the boss of the first.
You
the
met
first
the
one.
boss?
Zora.
Is he nice?
Is he not?
No.
Yeah, he's friendly as
It's
hell.
like
Yeah.
I fucking met the boss.
Wait,
Like, did
is
you
this
fight the boss
the-
or did you meet him?
I
Was
met
it a
him.
meet and greet?
Well, you meet him.
Is
you
this
still-
the Thunder?
still
The
meet
Thunder
the
We
Arrow?
exchanged information, email addresses, business cards.
catching up during the
We're
week
gonna-
on a cold
I'm
beer.
gonna write a
I'll
spotlight
be
on him
back.
soon. okay?
Yeah, I'll be back. You know, we exchange gifts. We'll see you on Thanksgiving.
What is happening? I feel like Justin right now. Is
Got
this
the
what
family
Justin feels
Christmas
like all the
party.
time?
A meet and greet.
Yeah, a little meet and greet. All right, cool.
know?
That's sweet.
He is probably the toughest
Zora boss.
boss, though. The other 2 were very easy. So
So still just grinding away. Zelda.
it's grinding. That's it.
Nice.
That's it.
So yeah, my week consisted of the Cocos attacking, Cuckoos, whatever the fuck they
The-
are.
Cuckoos.
The birds.
The chickens.
The chickens.
Yeah,
I finally
The cuckoos.
cuckoos.
Yeah, cut it out.
It is Cuckoos.
Yeah.
Is it cuckoos?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cuckoos.
cuckoos.
They say it. I mean,
Yeah.
you can-
I'm no Cuckoos.
Yeah,
but-
you might be.
Are you cuckoos for Cocoa Puffs?
I don't even know what that means.
We're just
Move on, please.
rails
Dude.
to Zelda
Please
right
let's
now.
continue.
Yeah.
I found out, yeah, they will attack you. You know, if you fuck with them enough.
Nice.
They don't like that. I did tweet out that some guy that fucking took one to like a fucking island.
Yep.
Didn't give a shit. Just rode one halfway across the fucking map.
Nice.
So I don't know how that went down.
Does that kind of work like the paraglider?
Yeah, pretty much in the same regard. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's very similar like the rest of those other games when you just
grab the
just
bird.
grab it and fucking sail away.
Yeah.
Come sail away.
Come sail away with me.
Yeah, so I was this would be good if fourth Mike was here. I don't remember his name. But the game has has some aspects of Animal Crossing to it in the collecting.
In which way?
I don't know, there's just there's mushrooms, there's bugs, there's fish.
Yeah.
Mines,
There's
minerals.
What is it?
Minerals, so you get
minerals.
opal.
Yeah.
There's lots of little things to collect to sell
Other things.
to make other things. The crafting system in it, I haven't really.
I mean, Shithead. That's how I'll refer to him. Shithead.
Good. I feel that's accurate.
Was telling me about it, and I'll wait for him to tell you guys next week. But he's already found a loophole for rupees, and he's already farming. He's already got over 3,000, and he does it in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
the Animal Crossing. You find the most expensive.
He's finding the loopholes, and he's doing a load save thing where he's loading.
Is he really doing a load save thing?
Yeah.
That's a Fallout. It's a Fallout.
I don't
that's
like
a
that.
lot. That's too
what
much
he's
for
doing.
me.
That's intense.
But he literally was telling me about all the gear he's already bought, and because he's just farming this one location where he does the load save and go back into the world and gets more rupees.
I feel like I understand it's an exploit, but you're probably missing out on a lot if you're just.
But he's super pumped that he found it.
Overpowered.
Yeah, but that's just how he wants to play. That fucking kid's gonna shoot an arrow up in the sky and then go spend
himself,
10 hours trying to find the fucking arrow at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's what he's gonna do.
That's the life of
It's gonna be like, I know this arrow is somewhere in this tree.
That's pretty.
It's got to be in this tree. I'm gonna spend the rest of my
Let me
night
climb this tree. Let me check every leaf.
The life of.
So yeah, I think there'll probably be a
grass.
bigger Zelda discussion with Justin next week.
Mm-hmm.
As he will be bringing his impressions on it.
I'm interested to hear the farming situation.
The trick.
Fucking idiot.
I find myself when I've lost to the boss twice, and normally I would just go right back, but I find myself doing a lot of stuff that I did in Ocarina of Time after beating Ocarina of Time, where you just go and find all the shit, just little going off and just doing random shit and just seeing what's in the world. And I get a lot of that from this game in just that regard of just the open world of it. Just just fucking around in it. It's just fun to kind of go around and just see the different areas. I have only unlocked 2 maps, technically.
Damn, do you way far on?
Whatever. And then,
fucking
yeah, but
obviously.
And then just seeing what the new environments are.
Yeah.
Going into the fire, which I can't really go into. I can't get close to Death Mountain because I don't have it's too hot. And the environment is a huge role in this game. I think we talked about it before, but I mean, they show you the temperature. It rains a lot. There's been the meme of
the thunder.
It just
rains whenever at the most inconvenient
when you
times.
climb the cliff and you're right at the top, about to run out of stamina, it rains.
And then you're just and I'm dead. So you were mentioning about how fun it is to actually just go
and do things
and find different things in the area.
Right.
So I find that overwhelming, and I know that's a personality trait of my own.
But I also think Steve's been someone that's been in some sort of a bubble where he hasn't played a true RPG game in a long time.
Fair enough.
I haven't played a recent. I popped into Skyrim a this is
Grand Theft
Fallout.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
I did do Grand Theft Auto 5.
You should really look into The Witcher.
Yeah, but I think a true RPG, I don't think you found interest. Yeah, you played Skyrim or you played Fallout because that's what other people are playing, but I think you're really interested in Zelda, and that's what these RPGs do really, really well. I think Zelda does it. This new game does it probably the best out of a lot of different games.
Well, it's also newer.
You the open world.
Right.
I mean,
I'm not knocking and saying that those games don't do it well.
No, I'm just saying like it's really cool for someone like yourself because I don't think you've been exposed to.
No, right. You know, I would agree with that. Not really
in the last 10 years.
Well, roughly. I mean, I did play the Uncharted. I did make it to Uncharted 2 and 3, so let's not get fucking crazy.
Hey, I played Uncharted 1.
But you skipped one.
Yeah, you skipped one.
No, I went back to one and said nope.
Plus 5
So
on that.
Minus plus.
What I was saying is that I have like the fear of missing out. Where and like
that's what I did.
What is up there?
I didn't even think of that.
It's so overwhelming, and I'm like I ran the same thing into Fallout where I'm like I do not have time in my life.
Well, that's
for
kind
this
of
time suck.
That's kind of the point in like Mass Effect right now where you scan things. Like everywhere I go, I'm like, can I scan that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just
like,
run
and
around
I pull out
with
my
this,
scanner and I'm just scanning everything.
Kind of funny because I had that feeling when I played Metroid Prime.
Well,
Which is like I have to keep the visor on because I wanted 100%. You know, not even that I wanted 100%.
What
I
is
just
this?
felt
I just
like
wanna
I
know what
wanted
this
to
is.
do it.
Yeah.
And it's. I actually wrote down overwhelming for this game, but I wrote overwhelming, but in a good way for me, because it's just, there's so much. Like, I can see, like you said, this is a game I'll end up playing
for years.
Well,
months.
Well, yeah, right, exactly. And just, like, I could see myself in the same way I still kind of do with Ocarina of Time, where I kind of dick around in it, you know, if I kind of play it through again. Even though I know a lot of stuff.
Exactly how to get to where.
I'm really interested in how long it's going to take you to beat this game. Like, because I think it's going to take you a really long time, which is fine.
Right. I'm not really rushing through it either because I don't want to.
You shouldn't.
You know?
It's a game you've been waiting for a long time. Do not rush through this game. Explore every possibility that there is because that's what this game is known best for, is going out there and just exploring.
Right.
And I will tell you right now, from RPGs and open worlds, like, invest in side missions if the side missions
they're chucking you side missions in this game.
That's something that you should do if you want to take your time in the game. I think this is probably one of the best games that you could just fuck around in forever.
Yeah.
I think jumping on top of that, so like Horizon does that too, where I was
Mass Effect does it too.
Well, no, I didn't mean that.
Hey, Fallout does it.
I wanted to finish Horizon, so I stopped doing side missions because I wanted to finish it to see how it wrapped up. But like, I could have easily spent another 20 hours or so.
You do it.
So
you told shithead to do kind of. You make the save file, beat it, and then go back and then.
I mean, when you beat the game, it resorts you back to right before the end of the game. So I can go do stuff.
But I just want to also make note, the music in this game is still like...
Yeah, you're on a music binge.
Well, I am on a music binge, but...
Also, check the Twitter at PXLPTS. We're throwing out great music.
But it just feels... They nailed it, like, just for the atmosphere of this game.
Well, I mean...
In the towns, in the field... You know,
the only complaint that I have about it is that it's too big for my liking.
Right.
And that is not just like a Brian thing. That is like removing myself from it objectively. Like that is, I feel like this game is a masterpiece. Except I think it's too big.
Yeah. If I didn't have my eyes everywhere else and saying, okay, what is this game? What is this game? Like, these games are coming out.
You got a PC now.
So like,
too many Steam games.
I'm getting ready for Prey. I'm getting ready for Bulletstorm. I'm getting ready for all these other games that are coming out now. And obviously, Mass Effect's going to take priority at the moment. And I look at it like I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to invest into this game.
Guilty.
and it's something like I got off the Great Plateau. I started running around. I'm like, this shit is fucking huge. I don't have the time to invest in it. What I would do to this game is a disservice to it because all I would do is try to run through it.
Well, that's what I felt. I think I said that when I started Fallout 3. I was like, I do not, like, I don't have the time, and like it wasn't. It's not necessarily my like priority game. Like it's not up my alley per se. But it's like, no, I don't like. I can see how big this game's gonna become. And I'm just like, I can't do it, you know. So I never really said the game was like bad. I was just like, it's really not my thing.
It's not your cup of tea,
right? Yeah. But Zelda always has been. So
well, that's funny because Zelda's always been my cup of tea, but this one hasn't.
This one's different.
Like, and
it's the most different Zelda in the longest time, probably ever. Yeah. so I can see.
After the last one.
Much needed.
I agree. I do think it is much needed. I think that's why it's done so well. It's because it's such a breath fresh air. Well, but just as the game on its own, you fuck.
Dude, they have arms, bro.
Arms. I'm so excited. Splatoon. Free trial, 3 1-hour intervals.
They throw Little Mac
Get ready
into
for
ARM. If they throw Little Mac into ARM,
it's not going to happen, Brian.
I'm going to buy it.
They're not that smart.
I'm going to buy it.
You're all Little Mac now. I don't think you know what we're talking about with Little Mac?
He's lost to Glass Joe. Of course you know.
No, I don't remember even saying his name.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true.
Little Mac is from Punch-Out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
making sure you knew.
He was thinking that you didn't know.
You didn't know who Little Mac was.
I know who Little Mac is.
Well, they just told you. Brian just told you. Of course you know now.
Smash Brothers, but yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. But we're done insulting Gary.
I just smoked all you guys in Nintendo NES Classic. Go check it out on YouTube. These fuckers get smashed.
That's if I upload it.
Oh.
There it is.
But if we're done
he might just upload the Punch-Out segment.
Are we done insulting Gary here?
I guess.
All right, cool.
We don't have shithead here.
That's going to be it for Under Your Thumb. We're going to take a quick break and come right back with our little game that we like to play, the Drunken News.